So let's go into the browser and then we do an example of a foreign loop in JavaScript. So if I come back to the browser and then I open Scratchpad, so let's start by an object. So we'll create an object. Let's call it var character. And let's say we are thinking in terms of a character in a TV show. So the name of the character will be Joey. And then the TV show, let's just call it show, will be Friends. And the age of the character is 30. So we know that if you're writing something that is words, you always enclose them in quotation marks. But if it's a number like this, you don't enclose it in quotation marks. So there we have our object. Now we want to iterate using a for in loop. And we say that a for in loop, number one, for in, it will bring back the name or the key. So let's see what that means. So if we say for, and if we look at the syntax, you'll create a variable to access the object. So a variable to access the object. So how you do that is you just come back here and let's say we want to create variable c, var c in character. So it will iterate through this character. And then if we alert C, we do expect that C is going to iterate through everything in this, through all the properties, and we say that the property, that's a property, that's a property, and that's a property. And then that is a key, that's a value, that's a key, that's a value. And so we say that for in brings back the name. So if we see the value of C, it's going to give us name, show, and age if we iterate through the object using a for in loop. So if I run this, Control Z, come down here, alert C. If I run this, it will bring back name, and then the next name is show, the next one is age. So it brought back name, show, and age. Let's use something that you already know. Let me just comment out this one. And before I go any further, before I comment it, let me copy this code because I want to put it in the snippets so that you can take it and use it and change it however you wish. And now, if you want to bring back the value of this, you can use, let me just comment this one, and then we do a different alert down here, alert. And you remember how to access? You remember how to access the value in a property, and you do it using the name character, using the name of the object, and then in this case we are going to use the square brackets notation. So you remember that if you want to access the value in an object, you can use the square brackets notation or you can use the dot notation. In this case, since this is a variable, we are going to use the bracket notation. And what this will bring back to us, it's going to iterate through all the properties and it's going to show us the values. So we can even make it better and say, let's use something that we already know how to use, which is the template literals. So with the template literals, we can say C if you want to show the value of C. So we'll just use $, curly braces, and C. Then we say C is and then character C, Control X. Let's put this one also inside of that. So what this one will tell us is C is, so if I run this, it will tell us name is Joey, show is friends, and the age is 30. So the most important thing you have to understand about the for in loop is that it will iterate through enumerable properties. If a property is not enumerable, you can make it non-enumerable, but we're going to look at that later on when we look at objects in great detail. So right now, just know that if you're using the for in loop to iterate through objects, it will bring back the value it will bring back for you will be the name. Okay? It brings back the name, not the values. So these are the values and these are the names, and this entire thing is a property. So let's continue on in the next video, but just a recap. In this video, we have done an example of the for in loop, which shows us that if you iterate through an object, you iterate through properties in an object, it will bring back the names and not the values. So if you want the values, you have to access them the way that you access values in an object. And we did learn about this in object literals. So you can just go back and see how to access properties in an object. So let's continue in the next video.